Hello, good morning. I am going to give you a little summary of what I would have liked to do the last day when we couldn't connect, we couldn't quite have this group video conferencing lesson. Since I'd rather not project the book on the background, I am going to explain more or less what we did. I would have, what we did with the other group, I mean. So I would have liked to do page 42, dealing with food and eating well and a diet, etc., etc. So we started by describing the photos on pages 42 and 43, saying what kind of food we can find there. For example, grapes, apples, strawberries, pineapple, tomatoes, carrots, etc., etc. I mean, all kinds of food that they could possibly come up with. Then after that, we went through the vocabulary which is in the box in exercise 1B. You are familiar with most of the words that appear there. You know what seafood is, you know what fish is, fruit, meat, vegetables, probably dairy products might be the concept that you are not so familiar with. And dairy product or dairy products are those that are based on, that are made from milk. Then we did exercise 2A. So we read the comments and we went through the vocabulary related to food. For example, vegetarian food, and we told the difference, we discussed the difference between vegetarian food and vegan food. Being vegan, vegan people are those who don't eat eggs or either eggs or milk. I mean, not only meat, but also any kind of product that is derived from an animal. Sweet or savory, savory meaning salty things, fresh meaning recently made, spicy food, and tasty meaning that the taste is intense and good and pleasant. Then homemade obviously means that it's not, it has been elaborated at home. And bitter, which is the opposite of sweet. More or less, this is the vocabulary that we discussed the previous day with the other group. Then we did exercise 2B. In exercise 2B, you are asked to find words in the comments that mean the way things taste. And for example, you find sweet, savory, spicy, tasty, hot, and bitter. Hot is not necessarily taste, it's the temperature. Hot, yeah, hot could be chili hot. Something is chili hot. For example, Indian food is usually chili hot. Then they ask you to give, to find words that show the way food is cooked. And you have words such as fried, grilled, and homemade. Okay. Homemade is not a way of cooking, but well. And then they ask you words that are used in a positive way, which is a little bit of a comprehensive thing, but well, we can say, I mean, words that mean or imply healthy, a healthy diet or healthy food, or are positive when we speak about food. And we find words such as fresh food, fresh, healthy, tasty, and light. Then after that, I suggested reading the text on page 42. What does eating well mean for you? So we spoke about what eating well means for us. People gave their opinions about what eating well means, and we went through the text, not the whole text, but I tried to drag their attention to some things in the text that I found interesting. For example, there is a lot of advice. I found that interesting because advice is an uncountable word that is very confusing because in Spanish it is countable. So when you mean to say un consejo, you say a piece of advice. But generally speaking, people usually say some advice. Let me give you some advice. In fact, in the line below, you have a new piece of advice. And then we went through the text, finding words that imply the quantity, quantity of food, for example, or quantity of any kind of thing. Quantifiers. So we went through the text and we read it for quantifiers. I really pointed to specific bits of the text where quantifiers appear. For example, too much or too little, too many takeaways, etc., etc. And we explained, generally, we reviewed the quantifiers. And I told them that I would attach a diagram, and this week we would take a look at the diagram, which we will do so today and tomorrow morning, today in the evening and tomorrow morning. We also, and following the instructions of the book, we also went to the back sections of the unit. Particularly, we went to page. In the first place, we went to page. Let me see, page 140, section 5C, food preparation, and what we had to do was to match the verbs given in the exercise with the pictures given in the exercise. And if you like, at home, stop the video, try to do it, but I'm going to give you the key. So if you like, stop the video, try to do it yourselves, and then after that check whether you did it rightly or not. The answer should be great. The first word is great, would be picture H. To fry would be picture C. To boil would be picture G. To bake, picture B. To chop, picture D. So chop meaning to cut up into small little pieces. And slice, to slice, means to cut into slices. S-L-I-C-E, to slice, which is not here. I added it myself. To grill would be picture A. To peel would be picture F. To stir would be picture E. And I added that to stir in general is when something's quiet and you begin to move it. You begin to stir it, but it can be physically like this, like when you are drinking your cup of tea and you stir it like that. It is quiet, it is still, it is peaceful, no movement, still, and then you begin to move it. Or people are quiet, silent, and then you wake them up. For example, they are asleep, you stir them, or they are relaxed, and you stir them when you try to pull them out of that state by making them active. You activate things. So this is to stir. Stir applied to drinks, for example, means to stir means when you spin, when you take your spoon and you move it, you spin the drink round and round and round to help the sugar dissolve. That's stirring. But it's not only applicable in that context. Figuratively speaking, we can use it in many other contexts. To pour would be picture J, and to roast would be picture I. Then after that, we went to page 125. And we did anyway, I insist. Today we will review the quantifiers again. I gave him a few transfers that we did on the spot the other day, but you must have seen that I added transfers and I attached them to the web, to our web, this week's section of the web. And we will try to do them in class today if you like. So we did exercise 5C on page 125. In the same way as we did before, if you like, stop the video, try to do the exercise at home, and then if you would like to check whether you did it rightly or not, then carry on with the video, then play it on. So exercise section 5C, page 125, exercise 1. I'm gonna give you the key. 1A would be some, 1B would be much and a little. Allow me not to read out the sentence, and allow me not to project the book on the background for copyright reasons. You know more or less what I'm talking about because you have the book at hand. But if I'm going to make the video public, I'd rather not show anything or show any sort of section or read any sort of little bit from the book. So I give you the key to the exercise straightforwardly. Anyway, if there is anything you don't understand, please don't hesitate to ask me today in class or tomorrow in class. Exercise 1, item 2A, no. 2B would be some and any. Item 3, B would be a lot of and a few. Item 4 would be many and a few. Okay, exercise 2 in the same section. I wouldn't say that these are the only answers that might be acceptable in that exercise, but I'm gonna give you more or less probably the best fitting ones, but not the only acceptable ones. Exercise 2, item 1, too much. Item 2, enough. Item 3, a lot of. Item 4, much or any. Item 5, a lot of. Item 6, many. Item 7, a lot of. And item 8, many. This is more or less, in general terms, what we did the last day of last week. But today, as I said before, I would like to review the quantifiers a little bit, again, for a little more, and I would like to practice them a little more. So if you have any queries, please do not hesitate to ask me today or tomorrow morning, and I will explain whatever questions or whatever queries that you may have. So have a good day and see you very soon.